All right, folks, welcome in, welcome in. Find a seat. We are ready to get going. The Dodgers are still winning. Good evening. On behalf of Beyond Baroque Literary Arts Center, I'd like to welcome you all to the Wanda Coleman Theater and to the double book launch for Rich Ferguson and Kathleen Florence. Give it up. So really appreciate you all being here despite all the traffic and the commotion down the street. My name is Jimmy Vega, and I'm the interim executive director of Beyond Baroque. I'd like to start by acknowledging Beyond Baroque's presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Tonga peoples. We acknowledge the wrong done to these peoples through settler colonialism, genocidal practices, and the violent disposition of their land. And as an arts organization, we are committed to uplifting Indigenous communities, their stories, and cultures. For those who don't know, Beyond Baroque is Los Angeles' oldest literary arts center, located here in Venice, California. Founded in 1968 by George Drury Smith, first as an experimental literary magazine, before reimagining itself and becoming the literary home we know it as today. We are based out of the original Venice City Hall and help support new writers, cultivate new writing, through our extensive program of writing workshops, readings, and performances. As you all know, we do offer workshops online via Zoom, such as our free weekly Monday Night Fiction workshop, facilitated by Raquel Baker, and our historic Wednesday Night Poetry workshop, currently facilitated by Jose Hernandez Diaz. Similarly, we offer several paid in-person and online intensive workshops throughout the year. Recently, we hosted the poet-educator Brendan Constantine for his workshop, Ghost School, and we'll have a few more intensives for the remaining of the year. And aside from workshops, we offer several readings throughout the year. We host over 100 readings in this theater a year. Tomorrow, we'll be featuring 6 SoCal writers for flexing the soft power of women who submit, an empowering reading celebrating strength and resilience in recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And next week, we'll have a full slate of programs starting on Thursday with the zine launch / open mic and other book launches from small presses such as What Books, Giant Claw Press, and Walton Wall Press, to name a few. So please do come back for that and for more. Please visit beyondbaroque.org, BB Lit Arts on our socials. We also have an exciting new exhibition in the space. Some of you are taking a look. East of Western Photos of Charles Bukowski by Joan Ganny. That's a really exciting exhibition for us because all of these photos that you see around our walls, they've never been displayed in the States. So this is the first time that we're seeing them. They've been displayed in Europe in some, smaller art galleries, etc., but not here. So we're really excited to have them here. As many of you know, we do rely on our community, on our members. So if you are a member, we thank you. And if you're not, we encourage you to become a member. It helps us keep this place alive, keeps our programming alive, and all of the things that we do here in our space. Before I get off the mic, I want to mention 2 fundraising opportunities coming up this month. So in November 9th, we will be having a very small, intimate gathering, a dinner at a Venice home, to raise funds for Beyond Baroque because of our loss of funding with the NEA this year. And on November 15th, we're also going to be activating this very space with a full slate of poetry. From 12 to 9, we're inviting over 50 poets to be a part of that. And yeah, it's gonna be great. So I do hope that you can save those dates and attend. Big shout out, big thanks to Eric Alberg in the booth running our sound and light. Thank you to Ivan Salinas, Genesis Perez in the bookstore, Annika Dueñas. Yeah, please give it up. Zoe at Escudi, Rhiannon Cielos Chavez. They make it all possible. And thank you all for being here. And now, without further ado, please welcome the author of Prayers with a Side of Cash. Give it up for Kathleen Florence.
Thank you so much. What an honor to have my very first poetry book here launched at Beyond Baroque, which is an incredible space. Thank you for being here, and thank you to Rich Ferguson for bringing us all together. Yeah. I'm here because of him. In the summer of 2024, I drove across this country with him. And I took notes along the way, anything and everything that sparked delight. There's a poem in this book about Texas. There's another one about Georgia and a goat farm that we stopped on on the way to New Orleans. These poems are linked by places and observation of a country headed in the wrong direction. The first draft of this book had a different ending. The final poem suggested that maybe I was going to fall in love with America. But then November 2024 came, and everything changed. Instead of coyly playing with the idea of loving this complicated, wounded country, I ended this book with the poem, "America, I Won't Give Up on You." Because I have a type. Because I read your stories, devoured your songs since childhood, from hearing an older cousin hum "Hello, I Love You" by The Doors, "Modern Love" by Bowie, "All of My Love" by Zeppelin, "I Think I Love You" by the Partridge Family, which sounds like the patriarch family, which sounds like the patriotic family, which sounds like America, final innings swinging that bat. I'm still waiting for you to shift, America. Give up your reckless ways. You keep promising change while hanging on to old habits, too in love with yourself or addicted to what corporations sold us when we were young. Because I have a type, I'm into the scar over your left eye, America. Sign of a dagger on your neck, you say is a birthmark? That's sexy. The way a pool hall posing as a book club shaking down fascist ideas is sexy. Or a furniture store offering mid-afternoon naps is sexy. America, you once had a popular profile on social media, but then got found out on a second date. The way you react to speeding tickets or when a server brings the wrong order. America makes a strong first impression, chiseled features, witty banter, a penchant for debate. And who doesn't want to cruise through its towns with photo-worthy statues studied in art history, managed by smiles made whiter by bleach, appearing slightly better looking to get more votes? It's a two-party system, blaring outdated music over loudspeakers that will become landfill. Ain't that America? But hear me out. I used to love you, and still do love your movies, your three-chord hits, denim jean history, and Gibson guitars. I love your painted toenails, man buns, and rainbow parades. I love your vast and ever-changing terrain, driving from one side to another. I love the car you made to drive, blasting 80 years of rock and roll on the ride west. I know there are other places far less obvious about their dysfunctions. I know not everyone needs to be in the spotlight all the time like you do, America. You are the troublemaker during holidays, loudmouth at family gatherings, and when the unhappiest of your cousins gets a shotgun and mixes in a bad idea, like nobody loves me, like something is wrong here, like school is the problem, like an airplane through a tower. That's when I want to fix you, America, like a Coldplay song. Lately, America, you are more American Psycho than America the Beautiful. I want to see you take off that suit and meet me at the non-denominational place of prayer and peace. I want to see you find that surplus of money and give it away to the poorest among us. I want to see all your favorite colors come together in a round of Kumbaya meets Thunderstruck. America, I'm asking you to be the bad boy I can trust as you excommunicate the language of bro, any need for dominance, keeping your muscles flexed and gender open, because I've got a blank space, baby. Be it Beyonce or Swift, no one can hold a candle to your torch. Just keep it lit, if you get my drift. Oh, America, I want it all just like you. I want you all to myself, too, except when we hang on the weekends with my friends. People rave about your cities and countryside. You've got a honey sweet B-side. You've got strings of lights from east to west, dance halls, and jazz. You've got miles and miles of yellow brick highways. You've got baseball and bourbon, Broadway, Bukowski, revolution and suffrage, suffering to overcome. I'm surely leaving something and someone out, but that's you too, America, with your history amnesia, fleeting cultural touchstones like the height of today's socks or yesterday's Haight Street Rock. America with your golden arches and just do it sleigh, restitution that's coming one day. There's always so much more to say to you. Just know that I won't give up on you, America, in this madding world we call home. Thank you. Wow, thank you. As some of you know, I'm from Canada. And this is my first time living in America. What a time to live in America. I've lived and traveled through other countries, and finding like-minded people, I've always found like-minded people through the arts. I've known a lot of artists, and it's where I find community, support, and family. So this is the last poem I'm going to read from this book before I turn it over to some artists I know. Artists I know live in old buildings, open studio spaces, have slept in strange places, unsunken couches long after a certain age. They make friends with pigeons, carrying around work in bags, heated and pulled into coffee shops when there is heat. Artists I know wear tight shoes for their own opening, when they are young and full of potential. Friends at the cheese table grinning, this is really living the dream. Artists I know have picked groceries from dumpsters, swiped paper from posters, exchanging collage with a pal. Jealous and ambitious, working morning hours, waking before the sun. They preach on city corners, run madly in midnight hours, tell you stories that will make your heart burst. Artists I know drum songs with chopsticks, improvise in kitchens, on subways and parks. Those who have known grown old know fool's gold, making a life that has no hero, unless bird and tree be hero, making mentor of a rising sun. Artists I know stop, say hello, text, message, photograph, ignore. They never go anywhere, never see anyone, never tell you jack shit about how they feel until they are on stage. Playing a part, instrument, showing up in their own photograph, scribbled drawing, first film, sending postcards to each other and to their family for a while, but then that stops because some family never say thank you for your art. Artists I know have cried themselves to sleep, lonely, alone, wondering why some people have all the luck, why some have good parents and others don't. Artists with no arms and no legs who have painted landscapes, boats, waves, others who carry their life on their backs, moving from one place to another when rent gets too high again. Teaching other artists to dance by lifting their arms, never saying that is wrong or do it this way, but rather do it again and again. Do you love it? Do what you love. I know artists who hate what they do for a while, for a time, and then fall in love again in that moment when falling in love is possible, when mind finds bridge. I know artists who burn bridges, slam doors, quit jobs, get fired, break chairs, marry, carry divorce, have children, and leave their spouse when death comes. Some that sing on city streets, sing to a half-baked moon, talk to aliens, break traditions, carry a torch, contradict, start fights, fall in love once again, and join celibacy school as a sign of protest. Artists who wash cars on street corners, have day jobs, and still believe. I know artists who sleep under moon's uncertainty, wake up in storms, and start again. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce the one and only S.A. Griffin.
Kathleen, could you say spouse for me? Spouse. Thank you, Kathleen and Rich, and congratulations to you both. Honored to be here, be a part of this, and thank you to Beyond Baroque, always. I'm glad that Beyond Baroque is still here. So the first piece is community, the second one is love. It is. It is the Confederacy that never surrendered. It is bleeding Kansas as John Brown's truth lies moldering in his grave. It is Roy Cohn's bastard angel in America. It is the military invasion of America by America. It is laughing Christ on a burning cross. It is a lying ventriloquist dummy that never shuts up. It is manifest destiny nesting in the comb-over of a bogus billionaire. It is a criminal conspiracy of whiteness from which there is no relief. It is an absence of any public memory that remembers to forget. It is invisible nations weaving indigenous dreams beneath our nightmare flesh. It is a capitalist dogma barking cartoons. It is a lost cause found streaming in gilded beer commercials during halftime. It is a malignant algorithm of fear breeding viral hatred. It is the parasites killing the host. It is rape pretending to be justice spread eagle before the reality coin of the realm. It is the fire this time in a perpetually burning house of love with no exits. And this is love. I give thanks for the love in the world, however it may find you or me or every lonely heart in any given lost or forgotten corner. I give thanks for the kindness that continues to light tired eyes, old eyes and young, that have seen too much. I give thanks for your laughter that can lift a weary brow, healing every sadness. I give thanks for peace, for the seed of hope that moves mountains, and for all those foolish enough to believe, for their faith will carry us home. And I give thanks for your voice, that indestructible song of yourself that breathes life into the dark night of the soul, that loves out loud, rising above the maddening din of the sometimes deafening crowd, for friends and family, for our blue Mother Earth, for magic and mystery. And when all wars are over, and to no victor go the spoils, when the sun stops warmly beaming, and every star has closed its eyes, this is when our love shall continue from again until again, as eternity blows endless kisses to the universe, and time has no time but begin. And now it is my true pleasure and honor to introduce to you the library girl herself, Susan Hayden.
Congrats to Rich and Kathleen. I love your love. Yeah, and your books too. All right, so they asked for love, they asked for community. What else? Anyway, I'm reading about love. This is one of the last pieces in my book, Now You Are a Missing Person, also published by our beloved Moontide Press. Yeah. And it's called The Optimistic Widow, and it's for SEH. I believe in fate, fortune tellers, incantations, Marie Laveau, Mary Worth, and messages from beyond. I look for signs, I look for signals, wear amulets, protection saints, medals of honor, keep good luck charms in the bottom of my purse and in the pockets of my jeans. He believes in science, credibility, proven theories from reliable sources. He collects facts, statistics, trivia, has an encyclopedic memory, knows the answer or backstory to almost everything. In the summer of 2018, I was healing from a breakup and struggling with a lingering sadness. My mom bought me rose-colored glasses. She promised they would help change my perspective. I was wearing them when I walked into that restaurant where he was sitting, while we awaited a mutual friend. It wasn't a fix-up, and I wasn't interested. But within 45 minutes, I was smash, bang, smitten, and everything aligned. I asked him, are we the same person? We'd made the same tracks. We were a widow and widower, having each spent nearly 2 decades with charismatic adventurers we'd coupled with that same summer of 1990. When they died, we both felt we'd lost our greatest. This story begins in 1978 at the Shrine Auditorium at a Grateful Dead concert. He and I figured out that was the first time we were in the same room together. And we decided there must have been 1,000 more shows over a 40-year time span where we were in the same venue unknowingly. We are kindred. Besides having the exact initials down to the middle name, our fathers both grew up on the west side of Chicago. I was on the same spoken word CD as his late wife. And we each lived in Spanish homes built in 1927 with the same 4 numbers in the address. Even though he doesn't believe in synchronicity, he's the one who pointed all of those things out to me. I didn't want to fall in love with him. I had learned how to take care of me. I'd found an autonomy I had never known, and every man I had ever loved was starting to appear in my consciousness as a series of sepia-toned photo strips, a set of exposures. But it's hard to resist the impulse to capture joy when it's been stolen from your everyday life, as it was for the two of us. Together, we live with the unasked for knowledge that who you count on most can just as easily disappear. And yet, we can't think about that every second. We must make it incidental music. He is more logical than I am, and we don't always see things the same way. He didn't attribute the rose-colored glasses with bringing us together, but I did, in part. After we became an official couple, I lost them. I longed to wear them again, but soon realized I didn't need them anymore. Then yesterday, I was cleaning out my car and saw that they'd been safely hidden for nearly 4 years in the storage compartment between the two front seats. They've been our unknowing lucky charm, a talisman that has traveled with us, protected us, and brought new eyes to a magical thinker and an information seeker. We are not identical, but even with our differences, we are a miracle. He doesn't have to believe in kismet. He understands the marriage of love and grief. Thank you. Next up, please welcome a real magical force in our community, a true engine. She's always surprising me and all of us with her next phase. One I particularly love and treasure in memory is the Poetry Circus. Please welcome Nikel Davis.
That is an intro. Thank you. And thank you, Rich and Kathleen, for having us here and for making beautiful things in community. I'm so grateful, so grateful. So I have a poem about love. It's my first love, the middle school scab eater. It's titled Love at Age 13, the middle-aged scab eater. Everything about her was recessive, hair retreating into tight curls, arms holding legs close to chest. She folded into the wooden chairs like the yes-no notes we agonized over, tight origami shapes we passed while Coach wrote heavy petting on the board. We hated her child's body and thick lips, her shins bleeding where she ripped off scabs. Coach, going over the concept of foreplay, explained how the family dog never really loved us, was only after the pleasure of being touched. You have to butter a lady up was his best attempt at talking about the bodily secretions most of us were wearing like invisible gloves. She was beautiful, and secretly we loved her obliviousness. In class, she blew on her open sores, same as the head cheerleader blew on wet petal pink nail polish. It was confusing, this separation of love from pleasure. She looked satisfied, harvesting dry red chips, taking herself into her mouth like bread. She didn't notice how even Coach gagged a little when he looked at her. His argument for abstinence, a game of averages. If 2 people sleep with 2 people who have slept with 2 people, then we have all slept with your mother and our fathers. We are all carrying something catching within us. So next up is a poet that I am so excited to hear from, Harry E. Northrop.
I'm honored to be here, part of this celebration for Rich and Kathleen, and to be reading with all of the wonderful poets. To ask for love. The orange trees are 20 feet away. It's the last day of April. In 2 days, my wife would have been 82. It's been 10 months since she died. Her body was orange blossom scent, her poetry, waterfall, and baseball. Our mouths spoke bodies, violets and earrings, baths I helped her into, roses and chrysanthemums. In the night of darkness, she found me. Up the stairs to a large bathroom, a burgundy sofa, beads to the bedroom, our bodies naked in the afternoon. She brought slices of cheese, thick ones of bread, white wine, to lie naked in the breeze. Our bodies never ended meeting. We sang in a quiet home. No one touched our walls. And this one is for Rich and for Kathleen, if I may. For love, may I always be an innocent in love. May I always love the green leaves surrounding my head. May I never take love for granted. May I always be kind in love. May I always say love truly. May I never say love to help me, but to give to another. May love be more than possession. May love be beneficent, benevolent. May bliss be innocent. May love be ambitionless. May love be grace. May love and poetry be one. May love be steady, steadfast. May love hold and not break. May love be silent, protective. May love not hurt another. May the quarter moon and Venus be above me in darkness. Thank you.
You're the gasoline fueling my heart machine.
You are my first thought waking.
You're the home sweet home giving voice to my battered microphone.
You are key to new thoughts unlocking.
You're the sonata serenading my medulla oblongata.
You are song that heliums my heart.
You're the Xanadu paradising my don't know what to do.
You are slow dance to heaven's stairway.
You're the epiphany giving shine to my dim bulb blues.
You are hope sky getting my attention.
You're the pretty muse inspiring my sweet yoo-hoos.
You are pep in my step on our walk home.
Up next, oh man, I've known this guy for years. We lived together back during the LA riots in Silver Lake in this really cool building that I just learned from Jeremy is no longer there. It's Macondo's now, but it was this badass brick building that seemed like it was going to crumble at any moment. But yeah, I'm just hearing Jeremy in the other room writing songs and stuff. You all are in for a treat. I know him. I love him. After tonight, hopefully you will know him, but hopefully you'll love him too. Everyone, please welcome Jeremy Toback.
Love you too, Rich. They turned our home into a condo, motherfuckers. Let me see how this is. How you guys doing? Those love poems kind of hit. This thing's adjusting to your body temperature, so it's like a semi-pro instrument. So just give me 1 second. We're gonna be happy soon. Okay. All right. Do one more round. Come on now. Okay, that'll do it. I am the other, the mirror and the flower of the blame, the shun we conjure when we have no shame. Shatter our armor, 'cause we can't keep this death from getting in. The breath we share is where we will begin. Learn to see and unsee. Divine illusion awake inside the dream. Ride the frequency. Forgive yourself, then you can forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Do you remember the world before we all just came apart? The fracture of the real, the demon art. I'm over the over, 'cause we won't keep this feel from getting out. The way we tender anger, whisper this shout. Blur to see and unsee. Divine illusion awake inside the dream. Ride the frequency. Forgive yourself, then you can forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. You are always on my heart. I am always on your heart. You are always on my heart. I am always on your heart. So I realize I might have introduced what that song was about. I'm so mixed about that always. Like I kind of want to tell people what the fuck it's about, but then it's like, should be yours. So that said, the idea was we're not actually going to get out of this thing without each other. And if we keep fucking othering everybody, it's not going to end well. And it won't even be fun along the way. So I don't really get what we're doing. The algorithms like it though. So that's that song. These songs are all. This is the Beyond Baroque version. They're kind of rocks, which is awesome. I've never played it. Thank you guys, first of all, for your artistry and everybody, and thank you for having me come here. Because I've been here back in the day, but never played here. All right, the songs are kind of rock songs-ish when you hear them on recording. This is the latest one that I put out. It's called Rocket. Pacific Coast Highway feels like it might be the end of the world. Hot autumn haunting, apocalypse night and your hippie curls. Let's take our old stories, build a bonfire of trauma and love. We'll kiss and watch it burning so low till we shiver below and above. There's a rocket made of longing. Every time we come apart, and our rocket burns to send us, baby, to the ancient heart. I forgot when we first lost us. It was just a seed we left at the spark. Now our rocket burns to mend us, baby, in the ancient heart. In the ancient heart. In the ancient heart. No mud, no lotus. Honey, we need to feel the hurt. Get us to notice. Diamond we hid inside the dirt. Hold me forever. Through every war we justify, till we're finally so broken down. On our knees we rise and cry. There's a rocket made of longing. Every time we come apart, and our rocket burns to send us, baby, to the ancient heart. I forgot when we first lost us. It was just a seed we left at the spark. Now our rocket burns to mend us, baby, in the ancient heart. In the ancient heart. In the ancient heart. In the ancient heart. In the ancient heart.
Let's give him another hand, Jeremy Toback. You know, I used to go to Jeremy's shows back in the day. He'd sometimes play these coffee houses, and there was this one show in Pasadena at this coffee house, and, you know, the espresso machine was going and everything, and there was this person behind me that wouldn't stop talking, and at a certain point I was like, shut up, you're in church, show some respect. That's how I feel about Jeremy, very reverential. Yeah. Yeah. Up next, I love this guy. I love all of you. I mean, just all the, thank you for indulging us with this poetry party. It's great. So it's, up next, the editor-in-chief of El Martillo Press. Let's give it up, David A. Romero.
Rich, Kathleen, love you both. Congratulations. Awesome deal. Amazing to be able to release both of your books at the same time. It's so awesome. I love being around the two of them. Actually, my father's name was Richard. My sister's name is Kathleen. So being around them is like being at the Olive Garden, you know, when you're here, your family. So let's see here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and perform a romantic poem. I mostly write poems about heartbreak, so this poem is very old. This poem is called The One Kiss. I know that it's only been so long, but it's gotten to that point. I've started to memorize our kisses. You know what I mean. There's the upper lip tuck and pull. There's the upper lip curl and slide, the upper lip pull and bite, the wet lipped turn the mouth to the side, the tongue around the lips, the tongue in the lips crevice, and the peck, which we don't do that often because we're too busy with the aforementioned. If I had to pick one, the one kiss that first got me thinking, shit, this girl really knows how to make out, when I asked for a goodbye kiss on our first date, hoping to get some form of contact on the cheek. Maybe. Instead, suddenly treated to your passionate, silky, wet lips and your breath coming into my mouth like a performer coming into a club, waving past a line of doubts, sliding with cool ease past the bouncers of my tongue and teeth to sit down on my tongue like it was your stage, relax, have a drink or two with a smoke, and then start a solo to burn the whole place to the ground, sending a tremble down my mouth, through my body, forcing a deep breath. Yes. If I had to choose one kiss, It'd be one I'm too repressed to give you in public. A kiss I imagine passersby stopping for more than a split second to look at with deep breaths of their own, desires clouding their thoughts, leaving in jealousy with just the slightest bit of wetness down there. This would be the kiss that precedes the first article of clothing to be quickly but awkwardly discarded, leaving sweat from bare flesh to soak into the next one that can't be off soon enough. This would be the kiss that starts it all, the kiss that signals it should start again. This is the kiss that just makes us happy. And then I fall asleep holding you and snore, lips still pressed. This would be the kiss when I fall into you, intuitively feel when to kiss and when to close and open my mouth, when to lift up my chin, pull it down, push it forward, pull it back, when to pucker out my lips or when to pull them in tight, when it all rhymes right, when I don't give a damn about anything but you. And continuing this kiss, but this kiss, this one kiss, is a bit of a fiction. I couldn't pick just one, because at different times, every kiss with you has been that one kiss. All right. So, our next poet is a phenomenal poet, Moontide Press author. Give it up for Aruni Wijayasinha. All right, did it.
Wow. Congratulations to two of my favorite people. The poetry's great, but I love you beyond that. Honestly, they're all love poems, aren't they? Gosh, I'm like, am I the shortest one up here? I think so. But I was going to say, honestly, they're all love poems, aren't they? How much do you have to invest in something to write a poem about it? And then read it in front of people? Scary. I was going to read a poem about October, but I changed my mind. An American sonnet of familial designations. One week, when I'm 8 years old, I call my parents Mom and Dad. I try to be like other kids at school. I practice terms they print on cards for Mother's Day, rehearse the names they shout from down the block at dusk. I try on words like shirts that don't quite fit, the shoulders tight, the sleeves too short. I bend my tongue around new vowels I never use, the sounds too low, my lips unshaped. I find 3 letters scant, my love too broad to cup in words so short. My thought thee and me are too big to be contained in Dad and Mom. I leave American ideas of dear to those with narrow mouths who live on other streets. So coming up next is my other half in our previous book, I Love You, Jeremy Rao.
Thank you so much for having us here and making this wonderful event happen, Rich and Kathleen. This is amazing. I'm going to actually start with one poem from Kathleen's book. And, you know, I'm not going to give it justice, but I just really love this poem. I was talking to her earlier. I was like, you know, there are some other poems that I like. And I was like, oh, this kind of makes me look like I'm in a relationship with Rich. So I decided to stay away from those, right? Like, so it was kind of like a filtering process for me. All right. Cause to eat oranges. Here they are. Given away freely. Samples at Sunday's market. Large pieces cut in triangles, bright as carnivals, ready to eat. It takes teeth to tear away what's inside. It takes a strong tongue to crush the sweetness into the roof of my mouth, where summer stings fresh. Oranges picked yesterday, so different from the ones I knew back east that took weeks to reach a supermarket shelf. Slumped by a long ride in dark boxes that faded their flavor every hour. These oranges are ready to release themselves into the world today. into a mouth that isn't hungry but is asking for joy. Yesterday, I heard a man say he won't write about flowers or birds until rules are shaped to the arc of his foot. I wonder at how the ground keeps rounding as we keep walking, and words keep finding ways to ripen. Here they are, here they are. That was a wonderful poem by Kathleen. I'm so sorry that I cannot, I don't have enough time to do another Rich's poem and ruin it as well, but. But here's my love poem. First Buzz. Where I like to stay is right here, when my first drink, almost down to its last ice cube, when I cross my leg with a dizzying confidence, because whatever you said is funny, though I will have a hard time retelling it later. And everything askew about you is just so, and the crooked shape of your eye magnified by your Ouroboros glasses, so open as if weeds can sprout out from irises at any moment. And I chew on the angles of her name and think only angels could have thought to bind perfection to a body, that I don't think about the can he finish already, or the what time do I pretend to check out. Oh no, right here, there is no God, just our smile, and a vision of us being born with a bang, blinding as the first dawn. Thank you.
Up next, Bill Moore.
So I met Rich Ferguson about 30 years ago, 1995 or thereabouts. And it was about the same time, coincidentally, that I sort of discovered a poet who had been sort of hiding in plain sight for many years. His name was Bruce Boyd. He was in the New American Poetry. And he was a core member of a group that preceded all of us here in Venice West. Boyd was born in 1928 in San Francisco. And 70 years ago, I mean, where were we 70 years ago? 70 years ago, Boyd met Stuart Z. Perkoff on the beach and, in a sense, launched Venice West with John Thomas and Tony Sabella, Frank T. Rios, Saul White, Eileen Ireland. So, in a sense, I'd like to read a poem by Boyd, a love poem by him. By the way, in terms of, I was talking with Jimmy Vega before all this sort of evening started, and he mentioned this anthology I did called Poetry Loves Poetry. And one of the things I want to say simply is I sure wish that everybody who was reading tonight we could go back and be part of that project. But also that Boyd kept going because he loved poetry, even though in his life, in fact, still to this moment, never had a book of poems published, not even a chapbook. So this is a love poem he wrote for a fellow that he was in love with who lived in San Francisco and who, in fact, is still alive. George Stanley, to whom this poem is dedicated, is still alive up in British Columbia. And this poem is for him by Bruce Boyd, called Sanctuary. Because the warm honey is never dissolved by water, but drifts on the river's stone bottom like wads of raw silk. Under the surface, the swimmers still look. When sharp little stars bloom on the bone tree and tender, incredulous fish swim out of its watery eyes and grow warmer while gently the bone tree is turned in its bed, and see how it gradually wakens. Around it, the water is still, but the sheet glass surface is quietly shaken and breaks into ripples as gulls rise into the room of the hungry children to watch the tall water close over their heads. Poem called Sanctuary. Boyd wrote a very long poem that was published in the great Jack Spicer's magazine, Jay. It was called Toward Morning, some apotropia instead of an alba. And it ends this way with a short envoy, a poem, a group of poems, a poem, a group of poems, a poem about a group of poems, a community of poems, a poem. And I'm reading those lines tonight because I think that's what Rich Ferguson and Kathleen Florence have done tonight. They've brought together a community of poems that is also in of itself a poem. So I want to bring up the final poet who hasn't read tonight, who's created this community, both plural and singular simultaneously, even as his vision is in his poems, Rich Ferguson.
Suddenly everything was in slow motion. So thank you again for coming out. So I'd only been teaching elementary school for a few years when the mass shooting at Sandy Hook occurred. Until that point, I'd spent days on the playground watching children as young as 5 and 6, running, skipping, playing ball. And it was hard to imagine children like that, at Sandy Hook, in a classroom fearing for their lives. And in the title poem from my collection, Somewhere a Playground, I, try to imagine those final moments. When bullets grew wings that day and flew through school, we thought it was the sound of hammers falling. Bad day to be a child, printing upper and lower case letters, learning the cycles of the sun and moon and how to take turns. Addition meant putting things together, subtraction, taking them away. Bullet plus body equals blood, body minus blood equals gone. But don't call us ghosts, don't think of our bodies in tiny caskets filled with stuffed unicorns and plush puppies forever unnamed. Color us alive where bullets don't fly, a playground filled with monkey bar, love children crisscross applesauce beneath a tree, breaking into pieces the words of this big world, sounding them out. So I'm walking my students to recess when I notice one of my 5th grade girls wearing a Nirvana t-shirt. I ask if she's ever heard of the band. She shakes her head. No, I grab my phone, pull up YouTube. This is one of their most famous songs, I say, Smells Like Teen Spirit. This makes my student giggle. She's transfixed by how the song's chunk guitar and thunderous drum intro bottoms out to a whisper during the verse. As Kurt Cobain sings, I tell my student, he was a great songwriter, a great singer. My student notices my use of the verb was and offers a curious look. He's no longer with us, I say. He took his own life. That's sad, my student says. I agree. I wish he were still with us, I say. He would have written so many more great songs, had so many more great things to say. We continue watching the video, mesmerized as Cobain intones. Hello, 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 how low, hello, 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 how low. During this quiet part, I tell my student, wait for it. Pretty soon, things are going to get loud. My student's eyes widen. The song's tension continues building. Hello, 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 how low. Again, I tell my student, wait for it. When the raucous chorus finally avalanches us, my student and I are beaming like we've got bells in our blood. So yeah, I say, pointing at her Nirvana tee, that's a great shirt. She glances down at the band logo, smiling like she's the newly coronated Cinderella of the audio ball. Thanks, she says, then runs off to play. Thanks. Here's another form of play. This is Rock of Ages, and it's in celebration of the documentary Rock and Roll Made in Mexico. In the beginning, cosmic vibrations, atoms joining atoms, creating stars, universes. Acoustic waves of planets spinning, galaxies coalescing, crashing, ultrasounds and infrasounds of the Big Bang resounding across time and space. Blank pages of age-old silences rewritten across Earth's new formation, river movements forming, flowing meditations, dinosaur roar, trees green laugh. First human hands striking stone against stone, sparking fire, fury, war cry. Prehistoric music, Native American and Aboriginal music reverberating through the ages, shamanic sounds oscillating with onomatopoeia, buzz, boom, growl. Ancient tones scribed into song, cuneiforms composed in harmonies of thirds, 3 bones in the human ear, 3 stars in Orion's belt, of the people, by the people, for the people. Folk music, Greek music, Muslim music, songs of deliverance, songs of heritage and remembrance, intonations training prophets and everyday people to vocalize, mosaics of chorus and cadence, oral artworks painted on air. Enduring compositions outlasting the fall of the Roman Empire, medieval and Middle Ages, imprisonment transformed into enlightenment, a renaissance of polyphony and euphony, tongues constructing templed time signatures, reviled and revered through Baroque, classical, and Romantic periods. Right into a 20th century revolution where new technologies captured and enraptured new experimentations in musical styles and mediums. Whole notes, half notes, 8th and 16th notes, all musical notes crowded in together, creating songs written and rewritten on the skin, yet still sharing the same melodies beneath the skin, the place where rupture becomes rapture and muscle memory mimics memorable melodies in a sweet choral repetition, a listening deep into the body, into the soul of rock and roll, buzz, boom, growl. 1950s American movies bringing soundtracks south of the border, raucous reverberations of Bill Haley and Elvis Presley celebrated over Mexican radio. Those sonic vibrations transformed into rarefied and reinvigorated transmissions. Cesar Costa singing Spanish versions of American hits, Gloria Rios dancing boogie steps with rock beats. In Cafe Contantes and Tardeadas, Los Hooligans, Los Spark, Los Loco del Ritmo, Lalo Toral, Johnny Ortega, Irma Estrada, El Pistón, cracking open the canned heat, El Brujo, flashing technicolor ambience of rhythm and blues. These were not rebels without a cause, when their greater cause was to rock and roll, buzz, boom. Loudspeaker prophets and reverbs, proverbs, wailing social and political messages heard by 60s youth in funky holes, abandoned cinemas and parking lots, outside city limits, street demonstrations railing against oppression, songs of protest, songs of healing breath. Man and woman-made melodies, a Morse code of hope and how, pulsing on air, harmonic crescendos building bridges over oblivion's bottomless pit, shackles becoming the crackle of riot's guitar amp cranked well beyond 10. Buzz, boom, growl. Mexican rock growing out its government-cut hair, former revolutions offering new revelations, breaking free of the underground, Caifanes, La Castañeda, Café Tacuba, Phobia, songs singing seasons of new invention, a weather as varied as good day sunshine to heavy metal thunder, yeah, bombs and brutality can't beat down this beat for too long, 'cause rock is always gonna do what it does best, yeah, rise. Baby, rise. Electrified or unplugged, rock transforms the I into we, solitudes into multitudes, our ears cleansed with sound waves of holy water, wattage rolling through the ages, a rock of ages, a rock of solid rock and roll. Thank you. Speaking of rock and roll, I want to introduce to you our next performance, a video by the amazing Mark Wilkinson, who's here tonight. Thank you, Mark. It features, who is also here tonight, the amazing Butch Norton on drums, David Sutton on bass, Andrew Bush, who's playing guitars and also produced the music. So this is what was said at the reunion of Deathbed Wishes. What was said at the reunion of Deathbed Wishes. I want to seek out tomorrows that drink optimism straight, no chaser. I want to address our deepest sorrows and easy to shed miseries. Remove all billboards from the overcrowded highways of our minds. I want to prove that white noise loves black jazz, that Mr. Rogers was a CIA operative hired to test the limits of human kindness. And the reason dogs howls, 'cause it's far easier than reciting Ginsberg's Howl by memory. I want to create drive-through therapy for when we just need a cold cup of healing. Build monuments to love letters still written by hand. Offer landmark status to all remaining phone booths. I want to build bookstores on Mars, underground libraries for bookworms. Create bright playgrounds in the cloudy eyes of the dying. I want to expose all false idols for being truly idle. Recycle old lies into lions guarding the gates of greatness. Televise the next revolution without any commercials. Create a medication to remove all self-inflicted blemishes from our conscience. Drop poetry bombs into lives without enlightenment. I want to swap eyes with a stranger to see how others witness life.